Well, that didn't take long. How's it going, guys? The RC Syndicate here, back with another video, and today I bring to you the Honcho. Yeah, that's exactly correct. If this is your first time seeing this build, I suggest going up here and watching this video first. It actually shows you the introduction on how we even got this particular rig. Again, just a basic Axial XCX102 that we're just basically resurrecting and putting back together. Because it was a Honcho at one time, and a Honcho it is once again. Now, just a quick introduction for those of you who are new. The whole purpose of this rig was to take it out and perform, and definitely go for more of a box stock type of configuration. Every rig I bring out there is very much a competition rig that happens to be a trail truck. Well, this is pretty damn trail truckish right here. This is as box stock as I can possibly get from the parts bin and nothing purchased. That was the goal of this vehicle. So let's go ahead and get into it and talk about a few of the items that we added that cost us $0 to get it to this point. First things first, you'll see we have a body. This is actually a repurposed body. I've actually had this Honcho body for about a year or so. The hard body class 1 that I have, that actually was a Honcho, but again, you can see I decided to go that route with it. So this body just sat on the shelf, just waiting and waiting for the day for it ever to come back out. Lo and behold, about a year later, here she is, sitting proudly up on the chassis. Definitely a little lower. Brought the shock mounts down, or sorry, brought the body mounts down. Definitely more of a comp stance, but not trimmed or anything. Honcho body. Now, of course, the second thing you'll notice immediately is there's not this gigantic front bumper, just massive on this front thing. I do have it, sits in the parts bin. I don't think I was gonna go ahead and throw that on there. Again, this is to make it stock-ish as much as I possibly can, while still being able to perform. And for those of you who have a Honcho, you know that front stinger bumper sucks. So this was a front bumper that I had laying around that I tried to use on my hard body, didn't work out. This front bumper is actually from G-Speed, and I think it looks pretty darn well. And I think it looks pretty darn good. It does serves the purpose and closes that gap a little bit, and yeah. So yeah, front bumper from G-Speed. So that was the second item that we threw on here. Now underneath, we did a whole hell of a lot of cleaning. We went through, and this ESC is actually a different ESC, Axial, or Dynamite in this particular case. Just so we can have the light functions, I did put the lights back on the rear. Of course, I don't have lights on the front because we don't have that front bumper, but again, you can see that there, stock ESC. That front servo, unfortunately, the front servo was torched. So I just had this Amazon special laying around. I want to say, I'm trying to look in here, 35 kg is what I see for the servo. A good solid Amazon choice. I mean, these things are like $14, and they last. You know, not the best job, but they last. So that's what I ended up throwing that up front. Cleaned up everything, as you guys can see up here. There's a massive nest of just stuff going on, so end up throwing that back up and making this way cleaner and just nice and, you know, presentable. Also, you can see here we definitely have sliders on it now. We have a receiver mount here, but again, this is parts that I had laying around that I've taken off from other rigs. Guys, I said it before and I'll say it again, for me, I run Axial, and because I have the same chassis, same platform on all my rigs, in the event, I can always pull from one to the other. These were simply just spare parts just sitting in a bin somewhere. And there you go. Now we got fully functional, and actually with this body necessary, sliders on the side. That's exactly what we needed for everything to be all nice and neat, nice and clean. And I think it worked out pretty darn well. Now, for those of you who have seen the first video, you'll definitely notice some shinies right here. Yep, we have aluminum links. But let me talk about those for a second. these links right here are a giant collaboration of most like rigs all over the place. Allow me to explain. Is I have capper links on the stock XCS-10-2 links on top of whatever links from whatever other rig. This thing got literally links from 2 or 3, 4, 5 rigs just to make the links work, because I didn't trim or anything. I just basically just kind of plug and play, so to speak. But with that being said, I do have some links that I just did not have laying around inside the parts bin. So you still see for the 3 link, I still have plastic up there. Not too bad. The panhard is still plastic up there, so you know that we still got that to contend with. Even on the back, the upper control arms, still plastic. But I don't foresee that being a problem. That panhard bar is just going to be able to really just locate that front axle, and quite frankly, I have a plastic panhard mount too. If I had a metal one here that offered way more rigidity and I was really transferring a lot of that into that panhard bar, maybe I'd be more concerned, but I really don't think it's going to be much of a problem, especially because I don't have a servo that's really whipping that front axle back and forth. It's kind of a pretty tame, so to speak. So I think he'll be okay. Now, as far as the rears go, honestly, metal's below, so it can take all that abuse. The plastic up top, I'm fine with that. It actually keeps the weight down a little bit up top, brings that center of gravity down just a little bit, maybe not even noticeable. But honestly, guys, it's just going to be there just to basically just square up the rear end. Not really anything that's going to be load bearing like that. And honestly, I think we're going to be just fine. Of course, when we get on the trail, that'll be a true telltale sign, but I really think that's going to be okay. And all these links, again, just laying around because remember, I don't have a capper no more. That has been changed to a actual G-Shot. Definitely got to get a video for you guys on that thing. But all these links just laying around, all free. Unfortunately, it cost me like $400 from that freaking capra, but you know what I'm saying. Basically free. Now dropping down to the very, very bottom, still sitting on the fucking wild peaks. 1.9, 4.7. We'll give them a shot. Unfortunately, listen. God, I hate vented tires. I just simply hate it. However, this may actually work with this particular rig. We'll see. We'll have to test it out and have to really see what it's going to do on the trail. But there it is, guys. This is what we did with simply having spare parts. Guys, I really do hope you enjoyed watching this video. I had a blast putting this rig back together, putting everything back to stockage as much as I possibly could, matching the links, trying to get everything going and stuff like that to get to this point, and it was great. It was awesome. It was awesome. So I'm hoping that this is definitely going to be a great contender to bring out there in a box stock form, as close as I could possibly get with the parts that we have, and run it on the trail. And for all those guys that say I bring a comp truck, show them what my little old trail truck can do. I promise I will not be nice. Guys, things to come before we even get to talking about even upgrading anything on here. What do we gotta do? We gotta get this thing on the trail. That'll be next. Look for a trail video coming out for this rig. We're gonna put these things to the rocks, put it to some trail, and see what it can do, and see what we need to make improvements, and see if there's even necessary. May or may not be. We'll definitely have to see that, but we're gonna see it together. Guys, if this is your first time on the channel and you like what you see, please hit that like button. If this is something that you would like to continue to see, consider hitting that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, I always appreciate you guys, and I thank you guys so much for continually supporting me. And guys, until the next one, y'all be safe. All the TRX4s are gonna be so pissed when they get smoked by this rig.